Stop telling me what I can do, what I can say, what I can think, who my heroes are supposed to be. Just, just get the f off of me.
Bill Maher just dropped a truth bomb on Drew Barrymore during his latest Club Random episode, and the internet is practically...
Bill Maher just unleashed a scorching truth bomb on Drew Barrymore during his latest Club Random episode, and the internet can't stop buzzing. The sharp-tongued comic didn't bother with politeness, he shredded Barrymore's flimsy arguments. With surgical precision, predictably the outrage machine went into full meltdown, but Maher remains untouchable, dishing out brutal honesty like molten lava. Oh no. Sugarcoating, no filters, just raw heat. If you missed it, now's the perfect time to catch up and hit that subscribe button, because the fire is only spreading.
You're a very discerning man. When it comes to a lot of things, you are.
It's a charitable word for it, but I appreciate it. Yes, I think I am. I mean...
I've watched you for decades go out there and speak your truth.
Yeah.
I don't think there is anything that exists of the truth. It's your truth. And
there is also in life the truth. We may not always be able to discern it, but there is the truth.
So Barrymore dusted off one of the woke mob's most overplayed tracks. Truth is relative. You've heard it before, probably more times than you've stubbed your toe. The second you drop hard facts on a self-styled crusader, they retreat to their favorite blanket. That's your truth. Let me live mine. Sounds profound, but it's nothing more than intellectual fast food cheap. Greasy and pretending to nourish. Here's the hard reality check. There are facts and there are opinions. Period. Facts don't clock out because your feelings filed a complaint. Gravity won't stop working because your ego bruised with your knee. Opinions, they can hold up if tethered to reality. But when built out of vibes and fairy dust, they collapse quicker than a bad souffle. That's where Barrymore logic. Face planted, it wasn't bold, enlightened, or freeing. It was pure escapism. And Maher, true to form, wasn't in the business of passing out hall passes.
But it's very hard to be the one on either side to ever proclaim you know what it is. That is a dangerous thing to do. We always need to hear, because we don't know. We're not God.
no,
Right.
no.
But it does exist, the truth. Not everything is just your truth. I mean, your truth has become sort of like code word for just whatever I feel like. Whatever I feel like believing. Well, that's not really the same thing as your truth. You feel this way.
Yeah.
Feeling is not enough for me.
And Bill launches yet another arrow, piercing straight through the flimsy armor of the woke mob. Their entire playbook is feelings over facts, a house of cards balanced on mood swings. Rather than admit it, they scramble for obscure, cherry-picked tidbits that can't hold a drop of water, desperately trying to prop up arguments that collapse the second reality leans on them. Feelings are fickle rock solid today, second guess tomorrow. Can't build anything sturdy, rational, lasting on ground that shifts with every gust of emotion. Yet somehow, the woke brigade insists on using these shaky sentiments to justify life-altering decisions like pushing kids into transitions before they've even chosen a favorite cartoon. That's not compassion, it's chaos. It's reckless. And Maher sliced right through the illusion with surgical precision. Truth doesn't bend to emotions, and no woke gymnastics can rewrite that law.
No, but it is such a taboo subject, the truth.
It is. Oh, and it gets you hated.
Oh, as soon as I said it, I was like, the truth, that there is no truth. I'm like, that doesn't work. You can't say things like that.
Here's where things get downright delicious. Drew Barrymore was visibly rattled. You could almost hear the gears in her head grinding like a rusted-out engine on its last leg. She thought she was complimenting Maher by saying he was speaking his truth. But Maher, sharp as a scalpel, cut her off mid-sentence. There's no your truth or my truth. There's just the truth. And that's when Drew's composure caved in. For a few agonizing beats, she stammered, sputtered, froze like a deer trapped in headlights. That's the wreckage left behind when cold. Immovable truth collides with woke dogma. It doesn't bruise, it obliterates. These slogans might sound airtight in the safety of echo chambers, but the second they hit logic backed by a spine, they collapse like soggy cardboard. Barrymore wasn't conversing anymore. She was scrambling for survival. And in that moment, Maher proved truth. Doesn't just win, it steamrolls feelings flat.
But it's just so refreshing. Like, you were doing this before it was so dangerous.
Still dangerous.
And it is just way too dangerous now.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it.
It's slightly less dangerous than it was 2 years ago because we did have a vibe change, and because the Democrats lost so badly in 2024.
Barrymore almost slipped one past the radar, hinting that speaking truth today is somehow dangerous. Classic woke sleight-of-hand repackaging censorship as compassion. But Maher, wide awake and razor-sharp, caught it instantly and sliced it down before it could take root. That's the canyon separating real thinkers from obedient nodders. We all remember the wreckage of peak cancel culture, careers torched, reputations shredded, friendships lost simply for daring to step outside. Mob-approved lines. Fear muzzled free speech, and silence became survival. But here's the delicious twist. Thanks to Trump blowing up the establishment playbook and independent media surging into dominance, cancel culture isn't the raging inferno it once was. It's a shrinking ember, sputtering out while the rest of us speak louder, freer, and bolder than ever. Maher just served the world a searing reminder of that turning tide, and why truth will always scorch through fragile illusions.
Blushes off the rose on left-wing censorship and, oh my God, you can't say that. Stop telling me what I can do, what I can say, what I can think, who my heroes are supposed to be. Just get the off of me.
Bill Maher slammed the brakes to deliver a civics lesson the woke mob and Barrymore badly needed. Free speech isn't a hall pass granted by cultural gatekeepers. It's a bedrock right carved into the Constitution, guaranteeing that every American can speak their mind, even if it ruffles every feather in the coop. Maher sliced through the noise with surgical clarity if speech crosses into genuine criminal territory. That's what courts, laws, and institutions are for. But short of that, words must flow raw, unfiltered, and unshackled. That's America's crown jewel. We don't silence people because their ideas sting, and we damn sure don't deputize mobs to police hurt feelings as if they're felonies. Maher's point hit with force-free speech protects all speech, not just the sanitized, brand rubber-stamped by woke elites. That's precisely why it's worth defending tooth and nail.
That is a lot of just what viscerally is going on with me when I have issues with the left. Just get the off of me. First of all, I don't believe you. You're not better. You're a lot of posers. Not all of you, but just get the off of me.
Well, that's what I like is you call people out from all different areas, and I don't even know how to address parties anymore.
Here's where I've got to tip my hat to Bill Maher. Love him or hate him, the man's got steel in his spine. He'll call out anyone, anytime, whether they sit on the left, the right, or drift somewhere in political no man's land. Kind of consistency is a unicorn in today's three-ring political circus. Let's contrast that with the mainstream media, where the script is painfully predictable, slam the right for every stubbed toe, but sweep the left's train wrecks under the carpet. It's outrage on demand, and people are exhausted. Maher doesn't play by that script. He'll roast Republicans when they veer off the rails. But he's just as quick to drag Democrats into the spotlight when they're spewing nonsense. That's why even with the woke mob foaming at the mouth, people keep listening. In a world drowning in spin and partisan fluff, Maher's willingness to torch hypocrisy wherever it hides isn't just refreshing, it's essential.
If you're ballsy enough to be brave enough to say your truths or speak for what you believe is the truth, what scares you and what do you care about?
Oh, what scares me is a little bit me, that, at any moment you can say something that really in private conversation wouldn't upset anybody.
Yes.
But the snitches and will be able to use it to attack and end you, which they did once on Politically Incorrect.
And that right there is left-wing hypocrisy in its purest form. Behind closed doors, they let it fly laughing, joking, tossing around the same unfiltered thoughts as everyone else. But the moment someone dares to speak those truths out loud, the pearl clutching begins. Suddenly, it's outrage theater, complete with mob chants and an attempted cancellation designed to erase the offender from existence. And let's be clear, it's never really about what was said. It's about who is allowed to say it when it can be said and how it must be packaged. Step outside that carefully scripted performance, and the mob descends with claws bared. That's why cancel culture has always been a sham. It isn't about morality, it's about control. And every time someone refuses to bow to censorship, the mask slips further, making the hypocrisy harder to ignore and even harder to defend.
I've been ended a few times, and I understand that it is real and it can happen.
Right. So, like I always say, whenever I leave the house, not even to just do the show, just leave the house, I'm having dinner at a restaurant, but one of those rooftop restaurants. Because is it really dangerous? Not very, but you could fall off the roof.
Right.
Like when you eat at a normal restaurant, there's no danger of you falling off the roof. When you eat at a rooftop restaurant, there's very little, but it is possible you could fall off the roof.
The Democrats managed to turn America into a nation tiptoeing on eggshells. For years, they conditioned people to second-guess every word, every joke, and every post. One slip, and boom, careers ruined, reputations destroyed, friendships torched. They weaponized paranoia, training ordinary Americans to muzzle themselves, filtering every thought through the suffocating lens of political correctness. It was like walking blindfolded through a minefield, waiting for the inevitable explosion. And let's be honest, it was never about respect. It was always about control. The mission was simple: keep people timid, silenced, and obedient while the left's self-appointed morality police dictated the script of what could and couldn't be said. But here's the plot twist. People are rebelling. Americans are sick of whispering. We want our voices back loud, unchained, unapologetic without waiting for the mob to pounce. That's why Bill Maher's clash with Drew Barrymore wasn't just Hollywood fluff. It was a wake-up call. The left's empire of censorship, double standards, and fears cracking. Independent voices are rising from the ashes. Cancel culture is wheezing like a dying fire, and the mob that once demanded obedience is losing its grip. Maher proved that truth still cuts through noise like a hot knife through butter. The facade is collapsing, hypocrisy is laid bare, and free speech is staging its comeback tour. And that's something worth cheering. And with that, we wrap up today's video. If you got a kick out of this breakdown, smash that subscribe button. Share it with your crew, and let's finish smothering the last sparks of woke culture together.